Prior to release, Black Ops 6 Zombies has already seen some incredible praise from fans throughout the hype train leading up to launch. Some of those hype train riders, however, were a bit more skeptical. They didn't want the game to outright fail, unlike some other salty people on the internet. These skeptics simply were concerned about some key characteristics that were missing from games past. Characteristics such as having a set crew, which was thankfully revealed alongside Black Ops 6's main launch map, Terminus. I won't be discussing much of Terminus here, as this is an essay regarding the ride-up to launch with Terminus' younger, more looked-down-upon brother, Liberty Falls. When it was revealed we were getting 2 launch maps at launch, people were ecstatic. This feeling grew when Treyarch dropped the intro cinematic for the Liberty Falls map on August 23rd, 2024. This was hands down one of Treyarch's best efforts in cinematics for their Zombies game mode in years, hyping the fanbase up in ways this community hasn't seen since the reveal of Black Ops 4. What followed this epic cinematic and hype was a less than stellar reception to the gameplay shown at COD XP that occurred the following week. Gameplay was met with polarizing responses, with some complaining about it being a multiplayer map lacking any atmosphere. Beyond those criticisms, players also took note of this map's approach to going back to the operator-based storytelling used throughout Black Ops Cold War. Treyarch eventually went public and noted that atmospheric elements would be added and that the map had been altered since COD XP, and that the build showed was an older version of Liberty Falls. I'm just going to come out and say it. I love this map. I love the atmosphere and the setting, as well as the simplicity of it all. This is the jump in and go map in all the right ways, and the hate that this map received was incredibly undeserved, and much like other secondary/bonus maps in this series, it needs to be defended, as it's earned its rightful spot as a bonus experience. Liberty Falls opens with this universe's version of our beloved Richtofen, specifically the one that left that hole or whatever with Samantha at the end of Black Ops 4. Richtofen is listening to the enchanting We'll Meet Again by the very talented Verolyn. We'll Meet Again in the background becomes distorted, sounding more ominous and less optimistic than before. Falling leaves turn to ash, diminishing the beauty they used to be. He gets the strength to turn around to see his wife and child playing together, undisturbed by the flames surrounding them. Richtofen cries out for them to run, and they look up at him, smiling without a drop of emotion in their expressions. After a flash, we are briefly shown their mutilated faces, and then Richtofen quickly wakes up in a sweat, bewildered and frightened by what he had just presumably dreamt. A warning goes off. There's been a dimensional breach, and even worse for him, it's presumably Samantha. Richtofen grabs his Wonderwolf and makes his way down a spiral staircase, fighting hordes of zombies, to get to an elevator and get to work. He's disrupted, however, when a purple smoke fills the room. Richtofen cries out, assuring Samantha that she will never be freed. Richtofen is then absorbed by the smoke and vanishes without a trace. Presumably Samantha, asserting her dominance, assures Richtofen that she already is.
I already am.
Wow. That was pretty cool. Liberty Falls' opening scene was stellar. It accomplishes setting up some sort of motivation for Richtofen, with us first and lastly seeing him at the end of Cold War with a sinister grin after successfully locking up our heroes. This cutscene establishes at least some of his reasoning behind whatever he has planned. He's in search of his family, presumably trapped in the Dark Ether. Liberty Falls' quest unfortunately fails to directly dive deeper on this, instead focusing on a different man entirely. And that man is Dr. Panos, a man trapped in Dark Ether. He lures us, the operators, into his schemes. We the players follow his instructions. We construct the jet gun to help us find parts for the LTG device, then using that to acquire the canisters he's requesting, fight hordes of the dead inside of the crammed ether-riddled church, and in return, he fucks us. Somehow, what we do results in Dr. Panos to pull us into the Dark Ether, while simultaneously pulling him out. He forced upon us his cross to bear, and we have no choice but to oblige. Liberty Falls plays out like Shadows of Evil, both in its main quests, particularly its ending, and even some of the steps itself pay homage to Shadows of Evil's map quests in some respect. With the ending in mind, while not directly establishing what Richtofen's goals are, what I can infer is that Richtofen is wanting to get his family out of the Dark Ether, and through whatever means possible, even if it means sacrificing the unwilling lives of others to do so. And that's exactly what Dr. Panos does to regain his humanity. If that's in fact some kind of foreshadowing, then that's pretty good stuff. If it isn't, it's still solid nonetheless. Liberty Falls offers already more of a quest than any of our other secondary maps have ever offered in the past, so I'm not going to critique it on its simplicity and lack of a big bang of an ending per se. It's a fun quest to do with friends, and it offers rewards like the exclusive ray gun camo. My one main critique with this Easter egg is probably the size of the church. It's just a small area for the boss fight of the map to take place. If the church had been bigger, or even maybe just opening up access to where Dr. Panos was vibing, it would allow for some more area to traverse around, and I think it could have made the overall Easter egg experience even better. Liberty Falls is split into 3 main areas. The spawn, which houses the motel and a gas station respectively. This area leads us then to the Liberty Falls part of the map, which connects directly to the motel at spawn. Finally, there's the church, which is the central hub in a sense. I know I've had many instances where me and my friends would designate the church as just the meetup spot, and rightfully so, as there are many pathways that lead to the church. One major area where the layout could see some adjustments, or even really just the gameplay needing adjustments, is the extraction point for exfilling. That roof gets easily swamped with enemies, especially manglers, which honestly is a huge problem within and of itself for the map. It makes exfilling such a hassle when it really shouldn't be, and exfilling is far easier on Terminus in this regard. Alright, this is the big one. Liberty Falls is a small town that has just been overrun by zombies. Naturally, because of this, the map feels abandoned, and that's a good thing. The feeling of an abandoned small town harkens back to the original town of Black Ops 2, and I personally like to think of Liberty Falls as a symbolic remake or reimagining of town from Black Ops 2. Check on it all. The atmosphere does get some critiques from other YouTubers that I have seen, but personally, I don't agree. It's no Origins, but it's a step up from what a lot of Black Ops Cold War was putting on the table. It's a very beautiful map. Small town America is charming, and Liberty Falls is no exception. I find the map very charming. The evacuation message playing in the streets casts an ominous shadow over the vacant towns. If you're looking for spectacle, you're not going to find it in Liberty Falls, but that's alright. It was never Liberty Falls' intention to be a big ordeal. Look at the Easter egg quest for example. It's a very simple quest. Liberty Falls pulls off what it's attempting. It feels like zombies whenever I play it, and that's what matters most. Treyarch did make note of mentioning that they were adding atmospheric elements to this map post-COD XP, but to be honest, besides making the overall hue of the map grayer and adding more purple clouds and effects around the map, not much was really done to quote-unquote zombify the map to critics' liking. But again, that's okay, as the vibe that they were going for lands perfectly while also still being a true, authentic Treyarch zombie experience. Liberty Falls offers a plethora of side quests to keep players busy for hours and sessions on end. 21 to be exact, with bowling down zombies at Liberty Lanes being my personal favorite of the bunch. With there being simply too much on offering in terms of side quests, I'm not going to be covering them all in detail. What I will be discussing is simple, and that's the fun factor and usefulness of these quests. Liberty Falls once again kills it here. This map has some of the most intuitive side quests that we have seen from Treyarch in years, featuring Easter egg where you can become Etherella and blast through hordes as a literal superhero. It's pretty awesome. The Vault is another really good side quest Easter egg, and in this map it's only being really brought down by the fact that Terminus also features this Vault system without even needing to do anything to access it, unlike here in Liberty Falls, which requires you to find the code scattered throughout the map. I think it's also important to mention that there are a lot of loot-giving side quests, which can make getting things like salvage, higher rarity weapons, including wonder weapons like the ray gun and jet gun, that much easier. The vending machine Easter egg being an easy way to test your luck at that. My go-tos, to be honest, are building the jet gun as part of the Easter egg every single time. So easy to do. The Liberty Falls bowling alley, because it's fun. You get fun little rewards out of it. And probably the Etherella. Those are my top 3. Honestly, I think Liberty Falls is an exceptional offering. It's a bonus that wasn't expected, and with Black Ops Cold War launching with a single map, it drastically shifted from what games past had set as the expectation. So it was nice to see that the tried and true duology rule of launch maps was to return in this game. Liberty Falls is probably my most played map of the 2 maps so far, by a large margin actually, and that's due to its simplicity. This map was my go-to when I was first learning zombie mechanics on this new COD engine, as I haven't played since Cold War, so this all kind of felt a little wonky at first to me. This map had a very eerie atmosphere, a ton of side quests to keep me busy, and an easy main quest that you could get done solo or with friends in less than 30 minutes if you're locked in. Combine all that with just an overall pleasant experience, it kept me coming back for more and more. And again, that really is what makes for a really solid map at the end of the day. Replayability. Liberty Falls for me is honestly an easy B tier map. Black Black Ops 6 has had a very promising launch so far, and with DLC 1's Drak castle-like map coming by the end of the year, makes me all the more excited to see what's coming up next for Treyarch's next Zombies experience. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, I appreciate it, and tune in next time.